Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to take a moment to do a general tarot reading for day 6 member Jay. For everything that is going on with him right now, a lot of confusion, a lot of moments of transition also for him as well. The fans, the non-fans, everyone's mixed opinions, like always, affecting the artist somehow in a not very positive way. So if you are a fan of Jay or DAY6, I hope that you enjoy this reading. Of course, I'm doing it with a lot of respect. Let's just see what the tarot has to say about his state right now, how he's doing, and how he can possibly be doing in the next 3 to 6 months. I pulled also an extra card from the Oracle of Healing Yourself. So let's start with Jay and talking a bit about his energy. Actually, this time I didn't have to look for his birth chart because I happen to always, sometimes depending on the topic, to listen to Dive Studios, and I know that he has a little segment with other K-pop idol that I cannot remember her name right now, but she does have an English name. I believe it's Ashley. No, Ashley is from Ladies Code. But her name is it Tiffany? I do not remember. But oh well. One day they were talking about astrology because this female co-host was also into astrology, and she was very knowledgeable. I remember that she was a Sagittarius, so and she was very knowledgeable and explaining today what a birth chart meant, and so they did. They searched for his on this episode, and it was really nice and entertaining to see. And I believe his energy was that he is a Virgo with a moon in Taurus and an Aries rising. So he's really interesting. He did give me a moon in Taurus vibes because of even though he's very opinionated and he does have a great intellect, there are moments where he just wears this very comfortable and XL or extra large hoodies and hides under his clothes. That it's really cute. But this reminds me of a lot of Moon Taurus people whenever they wear these very comfortable and cozy clothes, and they just feel at home. So thinking about all this that is going on, I think that if we are going to talk about probably him being dealing with a lot of mental issues at the moment, is also he is a Virgo sun, so you know that Virgo, they are very intelligent. They are very they are people that can defend themselves really well with words, and that actually they are really good at explaining a topic or exposing their opinions in a very clear and concise way. But sometimes people misunderstand Virgos people, because especially males, because of their way to sometimes how they say things. Sometimes Virgo people tend to get a lot of criticisms because of the way they rationalize things or the way they express themselves. Some people feel highly offended by their comments, but actually Virgo people are very sensitive inside. Despite that, they will always fight back with a witty comment. This is why sometimes you maybe think that are they are okay, or that they are not affected by other people's criticism, because they always have the quick response, and that they always defend their point of view and have the ability to have a conversation about it. For example, sometimes if your nature is that you are too emotional, or if you are like having these kinds of energy that you are a very private person, and someone attacks you, or someone like makes a mean comment towards you, probably your reaction will be to just remove yourself from a situation, and go away and not talk about it and just disappear. But I think that in the case of Jay, since he also is really good at working with his opinions, and also he's a really good host. I used to listen a lot to his podcast, and I really find the way he expresses himself very genuine. So this is why I continue listening. I know about DAY6, I know about their music, but I think that Jay's personality, he does have, and also because he is an Aries rising, so he's always ready to to attack back, to respond. If you attack him, he will respond with another attack. And I'm not saying attack that he's going to verbally attack people. He's going to respond. He's not going to hide under a rock and pretend that this didn't happen. He's someone that he has a very clear opinion of, and also awareness. He's very aware of himself. This is why he's so sensitive. But despite of all this, about him being a Virgo and him being very straightforward with words, and always having this quick response and the ability to put it into words, and also having this Aries rising where he takes action. He's someone that he takes action, even though he can be afraid inside, and he can have all these problems that people have been mentioning, that he had been struggling with mental health issues. I'm not going to name these mental health issues because I'm not a doctor. I mean, I'm a counselor, but since I have a lot of respect for psychologists, therapists, and colleagues and other colleagues, I'm not going to name or trying to diagnose anyone, especially a celebrity, or someone that it's on such exposure, because we do not know actually his medical records or something like that. So I choose, but I can tell from what I heard from him, and and the way he expressed himself, that definitely he's not okay. He is fed up with a lot of things in his life, and this is why I think that people need to give him space. But I think that it's very brave of him to be able to still put it into words. It's just that since people are used to listening to him respond, they think that he is okay. That while you are speaking or talking about it or debating about it, that you are okay. And no, it's not the case. He can be going through a really hard time inside of himself, and the fact that he's still talking. I think that the same thing happens. I'm not going to compare here, but the same thing happens with AOA Mina's situation, that just because she keeps posting and fighting back and getting into trouble with social media, people think like, oh, okay, maybe she's not that sick, or maybe she's not that disturbed, when actually the reactions, the ranting, the constant to bring up always the same subject and to be talking about it, it's a sign of stress, it's a sign of anxiety, and it's a sign that you are probably going to have a meltdown soon. So let's start with the reading, guys. He got the Two of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, the King of Swords, Eight of Cups, Ace of Swords, the High Priestess, Ace of Pentacles, Page of Swords in reversed, the Knight of Cups, and the card of the Healing Yourself Oracle. The card that came out, it's victim mentality. So let's start with the cards. I think that definitely he or the group, but I'm reading for him actually. But I believe that they are definitely thinking about a strategy about their future. There's something on their horizon. There's something about. Sorry, you know that when I have problems with my voice, it's because the person does have a problem when it comes to expressing their truth or probably how they truly feel inside. So I'm going to try to get out of this state so you can understand my words. So definitely I see him. I don't know if maybe he had talked about this, about them like looking and at the future or thinking about future possibilities, because I definitely see him like he's no longer in the past. He's no longer thinking about what they had. He's moving forward. He is thinking about leaving something behind, and he is being very carefully and very methodic about how to proceed. You know, I think that he is really well. He has a lot of advisors or legal advisors or someone that has to do with law that actually is helping him, and I think that he himself is also informing himself. He's also like grabbing books or documents, or he's also like getting into the matter himself because he wants to know everything about this. I do not remember if he had mentioned something about legal issues, but I think that they are thinking about moving away from where are they still in the company or something like that. I do not know much, guys, so I only can see him walk away, like really starting this legal battle or this legal procedure or process, and him like moving away, like leaving things work on his on their own, you know, but trusting the process, trusting the professional. I think that he has someone very influential and someone very like knowledgeable about legal matters that it's behind him, and what I see here is that I don't know if actually if Jay comes from a wealthy family, because if he's not, I feel sorry for him, because I see that he had been thinking about this moment for a long time, and I think that this person probably is a lawyer or something. Is very he gets paid a lot of money, and I see Jay coming with the money. I see him like getting money out of his own pocket. This is why I think that his approach was really slow, because I see him like saving money to hire this person, or to save, or to gather efforts with other people. But I think that this was all coming from them. So I see them that the reason why this didn't happen sooner is because they didn't have the resources. But now they do. But I see that this took a while, and it took a lot of moments of like saving and thinking and reviewing. So yes, but I think that he definitely wants to move on. He doesn't want to stay in the same place. He wants to move on. He wants to go to the next chapter. He just doesn't feel, he doesn't have the emotional stability to actually being in the same place. I think that he is someone that he's also a visionary at some point. So he's always looking ahead. So the fact that things were always a big block for him, or at least from his perspective, that things were always postponed, things were delayed, a lot of things were hidden from them, a lot of broken promises. I think that they definitely it had led to a disappointment, and he definitely feels disappointed in his feelings as well. Because I see that Jay is a very logical person. He's very intelligent. He's also someone that is very realistic. He's not like, oh, everybody loves me, no, he's really realistic about what he represents, or what his image is, and especially who he works with. He knows people a lot. He has a sense of reality that is very strong, and that is very profound. So, but nevertheless, he is like heartbroken about this, because of everything that he invested in himself. But he's realizing that this doesn't only has to do with the group. It also has to do with his own self, with his own persona, with his own happiness. I think that Jay has been running away from something that has to do with emotions. I think that he had invested so much in his career that he had somehow escaped from true connections, not true connections. I think that he had always been very loved. He had always had people that loved him, because I see it here. But somehow he always is the kind of person that is like evading himself from the rest. He's like, oh, I have things to do, I have a schedule, so he's always trying to find new gigs to stay busy. He's almost like a workaholic. But at the same time, I think that he is, or he was, like running away from something. And I think that it has to do with the fact that probably he's very sensitive, and that he's very vulnerable, just like everyone else, and he needs to face this, and he needs to heal himself, because actually stress and feeling pressured, and feeling like he has to respond all the time, and he has to fight back all the time. Sometimes acting like you are a hero, sometimes it has a lot of since we all need this kind of person in our lives, this kind of person that is always ready to discuss with someone, or ready to have like some kind of debate. At the same time, there's something about their emotional nature that they need to pay attention also, because there's something hiding that wants to come out. And I think that if he is suffering from anxiety, I think his anxiety is knocking on the door of his consciousness, and it's like, come on, I need you to take care of me. I need you to let me feel. Let me feel. Let's get out of these stress moments. Let's get out of this very stressful environment. Let's forget about work for a while. Let's stop for a bit, opposing or defending or attacking. It's like his mind is always like really almost like tormented, by by a lot of people and a lot of people's opinions. Like I feel like I get like a headache, like I cannot stop thinking about other people's words, something like that, almost to a point of feeling paranoid as well. So then he has the Ace of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Ace of Pentacles. I definitely sense that if he is going to go to some kind of legal battle with someone, or the group will, I think that they are going to be successful. I think they're going to win what they want, actually. Because I see them like they have a lot of knowledge and they have a lot of proof, intellectual proof about, and they also have a lot of secrets. They have a lot of things, maybe it's documents, something that was hidden for a while that actually is going to be very useful and is going to be very beneficial for their cause. So I see them like have been successful at something. And then the other cards is the Page of Swords and the Knight of Cups. So yes, it's like I was mentioning in the beginning, with the Page of Swords in reversed, definitely what it's telling me here is that if they do achieve something, some kind of stability from these struggles and these battles, I think that he definitely needs to refrain himself from the media or from talking to people or connecting with people. Because, the Page of Swords is also about communication. And I think that sometimes his communication can sound a bit like premature. Probably, I don't know, if they win something, he will be like going on some kind of platform right away and started to talk about it or write about it. And I think that here what is actually advising him is to actually connect with your emotions. It's like open up to emotions, and it's not, there's no need to inform or to write or communicate anyone about this process. It's like keep it private, because you've done well. I think that he needs to congratulate himself more. He needs to like be more gentle and compassionate with himself, and he also needs to search, to look for a proper help, and I think that he will, because ending the tarot reading with the Knight of Cups definitely is showing that he is open to find some kind of healing, to find some kind of opening of his emotions. I think that what is causing a lot of stress in him is also that he's always in his mind. He's always in his intellect. He's always thinking. He's overthinking, and he doesn't realize that around him there are a lot of people that love him, that actually support him. So if they love him, how can he not love himself? And I think that this will change his perspective, but he definitely needs to be more compassionate towards himself. I think that he needs to be more gentle with himself, and he needs to be patient. He is someone that he's always on the rush. He's always like, oh, like let's go, let's and I think he needs to open up and he needs love. I think that there was, probably he had someone in his life, a special someone, that he somehow, because he says he was busy or something, or because he's also dealing with a lot of anxiety, so he's not able to connect emotionally in a deep level with anyone. But I think that he is, after this is over, he will offer his cup of love to someone, because he needs it. He needs to connect with emotions again. He needs to connect with love. I think he needs love. And I don't think that he, like I mentioned before, I don't think he is not that he doesn't have the possibility of dating or finding someone that can love him for who he is. I think he does have a special someone, probably someone that stayed in the friend zone because this person realized that he is not in a good health condition to engage in a relationship. So this person has been like really patient, but it's like he also didn't give this person the importance that this person deserved, because somehow there's a part of him that he feels like he doesn't deserve love, but actually he craves love and intimacy. So this is why it's important for him to sometimes step down from and resign a bit to his logical side, to his rational thinking, and just connect with your desires, connect with your emotional needs, connect with the fact that you need to be loved, that you want to be loved, that you have some kind of hunger, that you definitely need it in this moment of your life. I'm not saying that if he is in a relationship, he's going to be healed or he's going to recover from his mental health issues. Of course not. This is not how things work. But I think that definitely he could use it as a tool to realize that he's much more than a workaholic, or he's much more than a musician, that he is a person as well. Because I sense that he's really lonely as well. But what I also sense is that he is alone because he had decided to be alone. It's his decision. It's not because he didn't have someone that loves him. It's because he decided to be alone. Because he realizes that his character, sometimes he's a bit moody, sometimes he's a bit like introvert or antisocial, whatever you can name it, label it. But these are all excuses, because actually he wants to be loved. He's a moon in Taurus. And moon in Taurus people, they need connection. They need to connect with pleasure. They need to connect with beauty. They need to connect with love, with all Venusian things. So he needs to connect with that, with these emotional needs of his. So in the oracle of the victim mentality that came out, this card of victim mentality, which is interesting as well. This is why I think that definitely he needs to maybe get out a bit of social media, because people will start to label him the way they do to other artists that are very communicative. They, on social media, they will be like, oh, he's like having like a victim mentality. He's acting like he's a victim of the circumstances. He's using this as an excuse. So the better is like if he tries to expose, like to try to talk more about it, the more people are going to judge him. So I think that the best way for him would be to just remain silent and stay away from social media and from commenting on this subject. Just go MIA. Just go MIA for whatever time he needs. It's going to do him really well. He needs to also seek professional help. But it's nothing serious, guys. He's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. It's just that it's true what he said. He had been dealing with a lot of stress because of him gathering all these resources, and actually him like working a lot on the details, and him like reuniting with a lot of people to see who advices is the best for him and the group. So he had been like in action. He had been like moving a lot, and like trying to find like some kind of solution to this, or trying to apport, to give some kind of help. He wanted to be of service, but somehow he needs to focus on himself right now. So yes, guys, this is all I have for day 6, Jay. I hope that you enjoyed it. So thank you so much for being here, guys. Bye.